Welcome to the Fundamentals of Energy, Class 6, How to Erase Negative Entities. Humans and animals in the third dimension share this reality with negative entities in other dimensions that overlay our own. Think ghosts, demons, jinn, aliens, monsters, etc. Most people cannot perceive them with their naked eye, but through techniques like remote viewing and visualization, it becomes quite easy to see them. Now, don't worry about harming these negative entities. If you're playing a video game and there are bad guys who exist purely to shoot at you, that's what they're for. Even the boss negative entities don't have a soul. They're basically video game bad guys. The bad guys in video games that shoot at you don't have a family they go home to. They aren't really good guys deep down. They don't have that kind of thought process. It's simply not a part of them. So do not worry about fighting these guys whatsoever. Now, I hear you ask, how do I know that the ones I'm fighting are bad entities and not good ones? Well, it's actually very easy to tell. In this world, you have Team 1, the good guys, and you have Team 2, the bad guys. Now, how do you know if you're on Team 1? It's very easy. Do you seek to bring about the destruction of humanity and the end of the world? No? Okay, congratulations. Welcome to Team 1. I'll be your team captain. If you feel guilty or you feel like deep down you're not a good person, you're still on Team 1. So long as you are not actively seeking about the destruction of humanity, and this is not hyperbole, then you are on Team 1. If you are, then you're on Team 2. But I don't think anyone on Team 2 is watching this. So, welcome to Team 1. People on Team 1 are positive energy. Positive energy cannot hurt positive energy. So when you do these techniques, they often show up as children, friends, entities from a belief system you believe in. Always attack them, and if they get hurt, they were on Team 2. If they don't get hurt, okay, no harm. You cannot hurt someone on Team 1. Oftentimes, they will immediately explode into an octopus or a lizard man or monkeys, just evil entities, because the disguise has been seen through and they're now going to want to fight you. That's perfectly normal. Now that I've explained how the teams work and how you cannot hurt someone who is positive, I will now explain the technique. So what you're going to do is you're going to close your eyes and you're going to create a clear grassy field in front of you. Now, you're going to picture yourself in first or third person in the grassy field. Now you're going to create a sword. You can make it a big, incredible epic sword, or it can just be a normal sword, but we're just going to start simple with the sword and put it in your hands. Now, negative entities may have already started showing up. That's quite common. If not, just issue a challenge. Say, I call forth any cocky negative entities to show up, and they will normally show up in your grassy field. Now, take your sword and just start hacking at them. Start erasing them. Negative entities do not leave corpses. I know this from experience because I had one that pretended to be dead for 2 weeks. They don't leave corpses. So if they fall over dead, keep hitting them until they're erased. And that's it. That's how you erase negative entities. It's quite simple. Don't worry about any super strong negative entities showing up right now because you won't be able to perceive them. You're only going to perceive ones that you can fight, no problem. Especially when you're first starting, you're just going to be perceiving ones that you kill in 1 or 2 hits. It should be quite easy. You can create multiple swords and throw them at the entities. For now, just stick with swords. Later on, you can use energy blasts and whatever else you can think of. But swords are good because they don't use much energy, as they're quite reusable. They don't explode once you've used them. So that's why you use swords. You don't have to picture a grassy field. This is just a very easy area to start with. I pictured a grand coliseum and killed a lot of entities in there. You can set the stage, it's up to you. Now this is inside your mind, so you can fly, you can teleport, you can't take damage, it's in your mind. So don't worry about them beating you. They're not going to be able to. They cannot harm you. Once you've cleared a lot, you can look through your body and just try and look in different areas. If you're having trouble, just close your eyes and say, show me an area that needs to be cleared. Oftentimes you will show up in an entity realm, and the entities vary. They can be snakes, monkeys. If I start listing entities, we'll be here a while, so I won't worry about that for now. But once you're in the realm, these can be black citadels, pyramids, jungles. Often these entity realms, pretty much always, have a core that maintains the realm. So what you'll do is you'll go through and erase these negative entities, and you're going to look for a big black sphere of negative energy. Once you've found it, cut the sphere up a lot until it erases, and then you will see the entity realm just begin to collapse and crumble, and that entity realm will now be cleared. It will collapse on its own. And that's it. That's how you clear entities. That is the fundamentals and the basics of clearing entities. Thank you for watching. I have two things I thought I'd put on the end here as a bonus. One is that I call this entity erasure as I believe it makes the most sense, but you can also call it entity deletion or killing entities, as that makes sense too. I don't call it entity removal like others do, as what are you doing, just catching and releasing them? Don't do that. Erase these entities. If you just release them, they're either going to come back to the person or they're going to go off and attack someone else. So I always make sure to erase them. There's also some misleading information I've heard from other people. This is people saying that you can just stand your ground and the entities will flee. They won't. I've tried. No, you need to combat them. Just standing your ground is nowhere near enough. Now, it's much better than being scared. Don't be scared. Flee if you have to, but just standing your ground alone won't be enough. The other is that you can just freeze them or dissolve them or transmute them. No, you can't. If an entity is much weaker than you, I can freeze and dissolve and transmute entities that are much weaker than me, no problem. But if they're the same strength as you or stronger, you cannot do that. It just doesn't work. So for now, I recommend that you stick to using a sword. As if you try and freeze them and they don't freeze, you'll get a surprise. Later on, try all kinds of techniques, experiment, have fun with it. But for now, just for a while, stick to chopping them up with a sword. Thank you.